Hey guys, how's it going? Sirena, Barefoot, Rose. Hey, listen, I'm just watching the last episode called Humble from The Chosen. Season 4, episode 8, called Humble. I wrote down something Jesus was saying to his mother in The Chosen. There's a lot of things he said, but I only wrote down a few things. What grieves me, and he said, yes, the very human feeling that no one understands this. He was talking to his mom, and he said, by no fault of their own. They're simply incapable. Yeah, Jesus had all these apostles, all these followers around him, and he told them, like he was saying when he was talking to his mother, Mary, he was like, I've told them, but they don't hear. Which brings me to the next thing I wrote down. The human desire to avoid difficult news sometimes makes one deaf. He keeps telling them, 144, that even when he just spoke, that he's going to be handed over, beaten, killed. And they're not getting it, the apostles. They walk with this man. They've traveled with this man. They've listened to him. But they don't have a full understanding of it. And something else that was said, God will not hide his messenger from us if only we have eyes to see. That was a long time ago, but you know what? That could be used for right now. What is the date today? Today's March 27th. And it is a Thursday. The time was 12:12 when I went to shoot this video. I have 808 written down and circled, but it was 2019, the time last night when I wrote this down, 8:19. The season 4, episode 5 is where Jesus said these things to his mom, and the title of that episode was Sitting, Serving, Scheming. Now I'm getting ready to watch the rest of this, but then I wrote something else at 21:09, which was 9:09, and it was stillness and distractions. To be still, not much running around. It's giving me 4:14. It's giving me when he was talking to Mary and Martha, when he was speaking with Martha, and Mary was just sitting intent, and Martha's hustling about, doing this and doing that, feeding his people, his followers, and doing all these things. She didn't help. She just sat and wanted to listen to what he had to say. And in that show, he was talking to Martha, and he's like, yeah, you've done a great job. You've done all that. But while I am here, 444, while I am here to sit and listen to what he has to say. Because he knows he's leaving soon. The horrendous things that are about to happen. So as this episode started, they went way back, and they were getting a lamb, and the lamb was going to live. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was King David. I don't know who it was, but it was the king anyway. And Daniel was the son that came to him. So I don't know. I don't know where all that fits in the Bible. I don't know the genealogy of it. But it brought to my mind, the lamb was going to live 5 days with them, and it has to be clean. And then they'll offer it up for a sacrifice for their sins. Isn't it interesting that in those times, Jesus doesn't do the sacrificial lamb, because Jesus is 555, the sacrificial lamb. The shepherd, the sheep. All the parables and metaphors, right? But what came to mind was this stillness. Be still. This much running around and keeping all the distractions to keep you from the stillness where you hear God, where God speaks to your heart. That no one understands this. What Jesus speaks about. They don't understand, and they're incapable of, because it's only Him and God. There's some of us that get that. When you watch this, I highly recommend watching this show. Some of us carry a burden like that. But we know nobody's capable of understanding it. And they're not going to believe it. No. I'm not saying I'm the Messiah. That I'm Jesus. I'm saying my path is like that of Jesus. And the weight and the burden and the sadness and the pain and the suffering of the human. Because Jesus in this show, He says, I am human. They make jokes about they're only human after all. And He's like, I am human. I have these things too. I wish I would have wrote down all the other things, but man, I just get into watching it and crying, and it's showing me back to that you were set aside for something special. Your journey's like no other. It could very well be I'm only speaking for myself. We'll see. Each and every person up until this point, and then even after. I just heard Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice. He waited, 9:14. He waited. He knew Lazarus was going to die, but He had to let him die and be dead 4 days. To perform that resurrection. So that people would see it. So that the prophecy, the word can be fulfilled. He came to fulfill it. He came to divide nations. In this show, He says, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword, but a division. To separate. I'm hearing God's people from the not God's people. And we can call them Gentiles. We can call them whatever. I mean, I'm not Jewish. So therefore, I'm not from Israel. But who knows? We're all from somewhere. But right now, it's America. I was born in, right? In this age. In this lifetime. Not this age, but this lifetime. Because in this age, I've been a lot of things. And I just heard a noise. I don't know if you guys picked it up, but I just heard a noise. It sounded like a phone when somebody gets a drop, like a ding, you know. There's no phone over there. But then all kinds of weird things happen. When you're a walker of the realms, when you see things and receive things that no one else does, I get it. That's why I can relate to Yeshua so well. But Jesus has people that love him, that want to follow and hang on to and listen to what he speaks about. This baby lamb is left alone with God. My journey has been one of hell. Still going. Which going through all that, 12:12, all that hell, brought me to the fullness of the light, of love, and of God. Where do I go from here? Things are the same as they were in the old days. It just looks different. So we have, all of our nations are split up, right? So you have one who rules them all, is how it's coming through, right? One who rules them all, then you have different sects, right? So you have that. Then we have the president of each of these nations. So you have a ruler, the king, so to speak. And in each sanction area, ambassadors, people that represent that president, that king, right? All the capitals of all the states has somebody that rules that, and so on. It's a pyramid scheme. It's the same thing. Each division, each county, each thing, each nation has its own king. We just call them different things. But if you go back in time, they were kings. And whatever. General, I mean, we still have all that, but that's in the military. But you know what I'm saying? There's still the royalty and then all the subjects that have to pay their taxes to get them better. They don't work for us. It's the same fucking thing. And if you can't see it, then you're still so far asleep, then you shouldn't even be on here. Jesus came that time, was born at that time, because he overcame death. Now the spirit, the energy, the soul of Jesus, whatever name they're going to have, been here. No one's going to know till he's risen again. He, she, it, whatever. to overcome the world. We're writing history right now for what's coming. It's going to be like in addition to, it's like we have the Bible, but there's going to be something, there's something about this time. They will write about us. Bang, I just heard outside. They will write about us. We are the difference. We carry his name and all those before us for this day, the coming of an age, the ending of an age, and the beginning of a new one. A millennia of peace on earth. Why so few people? Just like Jesus, even the Jews, his own people, would not believe it and turn against. When it had been written and foretold, and he did all those things. He came to fulfill those prophecies, the written word in the flesh amongst us. Do you have the eyes to see, the ears to hear? Or is it that difficult news made them deaf and blind? To avoid the difficult news, to not do it, to just live and want positions of authority and money and this, and he was... They didn't get it either. And he's weary. He's about to go through some very fucking harsh shit. And even his own apostles will turn their backs on him. Will deny him. If you're one of those people, chosen, anointed, given authority, stop bitching and complaining and moaning about it, Sirena. It's part of your path. Written for you. And you alone. What are you going to do? Cry about it? Little James, the pain and suffering and all the walking and everything he had to do never healed. But to heal others, but not himself. And still following and healing when he himself can barely walk. To be set apart, to be different. They're going to write stories about us. It's already been written. But no, not really. Only up to a certain point. I think. I don't know. Maybe it's written somewhere. We just don't know. Maybe it's written inside of your DNA. You wake the fuck up. You go against everything that you see and hear except for what is given to you inside. And following that path. You don't have a cross to bear. It's been bared. Read your scriptures. Maybe that's in there. I don't know. That's how it's coming through to me. So whatever. The joy, the happiness, the love, the peace. You got to stand. You got to be that rock. You got to be Peter. You got to be that rock on a strong foundation that is unshakable. Lest you be nailed to a cross or beaten. I heard flogged. Is that even a thing? I mean, no, of course that's not a thing anymore, but fucking who knows what's going to happen. You will be persecuted, spat on in his name. Jesus spoke about that. You can't believe some things and not other things, and you've got to see the devil in the details. Jesus spoke in metaphors, but you're only going to get it when what? I heard when you let him in. When you come home to yourself. For that, we're God, we're the Christ, where it is in you. You'll know them by their fruits. They'll be easily stood out, and there's going to be just a few, a drop in a sea. Peace, love. Always be thankful. Because God loved you so much to allow things to happen for you to free yourself. Thank you.